First time.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
What's going on? What is going on? World champions. We got a new one for you today. It's the Cider House. Let me find my audio button. My audio button. Oh, look at this. It's beautiful. I spent minutes and minutes photoshopping these graphics for you. It took me a lot longer than that, I'm embarrassed to say. We're going to try the Cider House today. It's something we've been working on. The concept anyway. Gentlemen, I'm not sure which order these buttons are wired in today, so I'm not sure which one of the two of you is about to pop up. But introducing special guest, Jack Kentner. Welcome. Say something.
It's good to be back, John. I don't think I've been back since April. But a lot has happened since then, and I'm joined today by my good friend Danny, and a lot has happened with him.
You're introducing him. I like that. Danny.
Yeah, I don't think I've been on.
Explain yourself. Everything about. No, I'm kidding. What's going on?
I think the last time I was on was before the primary in Pennsylvania, so early April.
Well, welcome back, you two especially. So we're in the general vicinity of Penn State. Hey, Patrick Bateman, what's going on? Welcome as well. Oh, I guess I should say, in the Cider House today, we're all going to be drinking some Angry Orchards, and then we're going to go driving afterwards, and we're just going to see what happens. I'm kidding. Don't do that. But I've warned you both extensively off the air that I'm not a good role model. I don't think you needed the warning, frankly. You're like, no problem. We weren't listening to you already. But we're going to run 2 hours today, 2 to 4. We're going to take a break at 1 o'clock as usual. We're still talking politics, conservative politics, all things like that. But through the lens, if you will, of the young bucks. Oh, this is going to be a total guess, but nope. Oh, there they are. Jack Kentner and Danny Kunselman, there are their X accounts. Throw them a follow. Danny, recently elected vice chairman of Jefferson County, Pennsylvania, GOP. Just tell us what that is for a quick second.
Well, where it is or
everything about it.
So every county committee, everywhere across the country, has a county chairman and then an executive committee that essentially just works under the chairman. So I'm the vice chairman right under our county chairman. So whatever he needs help with, I get it done. Try to merge what I know from when I ran for delegate.
Plot your eventual overthrow of the current president, that sort of thing.
Well, I mean,
how Game of Thronesy are you taking this? House Kunselman.
So I mean, you can look at American politics as a game of votes, very similar to Game of Thrones, but maybe a little less swords and
worried about. I
dragons
don't think you're taking this seriously enough. You're sounding a little House. I didn't watch that stupid fucking show. Whatever House
of the
lost.
Dragon, it wasn't that
House
bad.
Stark.
House Stark. Well, they came back and won in the end, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That's it. You got any sisters? You got a sister, Sansa?
No, unfortunately, I only have a
Arya?
brother.
Your sister's out there killing Night Kings? You need to tell those ladies to calm down. I'm kidding. Do you though?
No,
All
just
right.
a brother.
So you're good. Oh, younger?
Yeah.
Take him out now, before you take the throne.
Now
Right,
we're
that's-
going for the more Kennedy vibe.
Oh, Jesus. Segue. We're going to play a little bit of a game at some point, mostly just to give us a conversation topic. But this is where it gets excellent. I'm going to, joking aside, I think you guys might look at this. Ooh, look at those apples. Look at that. How about them apples? That's going to become a catchphrase, unfortunately. I think you two might see this a little differently than I do, and maybe differently than the older people. I had to have a chat with some of our older fans because I went on this anti-boomer rant. You could call it that. Oh, quickly. Circle Jerk 3cc, welcome back, by the way. Only John can solve the world's female thirst epidemic. Hello, world champions. I'm training these guys up so I don't have to keep doing all the work. But I ranted against what I was calling boomers, but I just feel the need to explain. I see a difference between old people and boomers. That's not the same thing to me. In fact, our co-host, the good Deacon Mojack, is what I would call an older person, but not a boomer. He will be back in 2 weeks from Sunday. I finally found out. So the Deacon will be back in 2 weeks. But we have this game set up. We got, what's 4 times 5? 21. 21 candidates. We're going to type up some categories to put them in. The very first thing you guys asked me, so who's the dude in the lower right? I said, that's Michelle Obama, and you know that. That's Big Mike. That's Carl Weathers from Rocky. And again, I spent minutes and minutes photoshopping that hair in on him. So, I keep hitting this stupid Anderson Cooper button. I kind of told you guys could take the show over at this point if you want. Where do you want to go from here? Do you want to just dive right in to this whole Biden thing? Or before that, actually, I'm taking back over quickly. How do you see this? Did you guys watch the debate, number one?
Yes.
We did.
I assume and you guys did. What did you see?
What was the Babylon Bee headline? Trump murders old man on national television.
Yeah, did Trump murder him or did Joe Biden murder himself and Trump just sort of watched and...
It's like those like really corny movies where somebody falls down the steps and impales themselves. Like that was my take on that.
It was so hard to watch because Biden had every advantage. I've seen a lot of people in our circle say that CNN purposely rigged the debate to be against Biden because they want him to replace. That's not what I saw. I saw the CNN moderators like purposely giving Biden softball questions and giving Trump harder questions to ask. Like the abortion question raised at Trump, I don't think he responded like the best way possible, and any experienced Dem politician would have been able to pounce on that. What does Biden do? He not only squanders that, but he pivots to his worst issue, like one of his worst issues, illegal immigration, and he fumbles. Like, it's just a terrible, terrible performance by any stretch of the measure.
So I just stopped criticizing or thinking critically about Biden's performance like 30 seconds into it. So you can go back and watch the stream. It had to have been 30 seconds or less. I think what I said was, my God, this is bad. And I mean, you guys watch politics. You know Biden was, I like to use the word retarded, quite a long time ago. I would imagine you guys knew that a while ago. But I think I kind of agree with you, Jack, that if the whole idea was to throw Biden under the bus, then why all the weird rules and all the effort to protect him? Mm-hmm. And there was many weird rules. No audience, first time ever. I mean, it was cartoonishly Clown World level of no rules. So yeah, I agree. I think that's good thinking. What's the point of doing all that? Why not just have a regular debate, then have them fail even worse?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that you can also just look no further than the fact that the Biden campaign team, the central organization, is the one that requested the debate. It wasn't the Democratic establishment.
Well, do you think so? That's what I thought this too. I mean, they were making these rules so ridiculous, it almost feels like they expected Trump would not do it. Mm-hmm. Like I think they must have been surprised when he agreed, and then they added more shit, and he was like, "Yeah, that's fine, whatever, I'll still do it." Like, really? I mean, it was.
No, go ahead.
I don't know. Well, so that's, I agree with which you think the same thing. It sounds like that they actually were hoping he would succeed. And then you see these other things. I have a video ready to go, and it's kind of to the effect of what we're talking about. Do you guys know who Ari Emanuel is?
No.
Have you ever seen the show Entourage?
No.
I've heard of it.
God, I'm old.
It's Danny. It's sort of like a proto Game of Thrones, set in modern day. Let's just say that.
Entourage. That's fucking nothing like Game of Thrones. What?
Well, when you look at it like from the perspective of like hierarchies, like everyone's, it's a good showcase of modern hierarchies. You have the celebrity and then it just goes downwards from there. Like you have like everyone just like uses his name to.
The only thing you're shedding light on right now, Jack, is how you look at the world. Everything is Game of Thrones to you, is what I'm saying. So you're what? Your house? You're fucking Peter Baelish, dog.
Peter Baelish.
You're Littlefinger.
I was about to be like the schemer.
Hopefully not like.
So
Peter
here we
Baelish
go.
was
I hadn't asked you yet, but since it segues into that for a second, I need to get you both a meme hat. Right, and mine is, of course, Robert Paulson. I have a bunch of them, but Robert Paulson's my favorite. Big finger, Jack.
Big finger.
I think that's the one for you.
Okay.
And then that'll be just an accidentally great pickup line for you for like the next 10, 20 years. I was trying to think about you. I was leaning towards like Punxsutawney Vice.
Oh my gosh.
like Miami Vice, but double entendre.
Yeah.
We'll keep
with a groundhog.
How about just a
hat with a groundhog?
Punxsutawney, Philadelphia, or something? I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll let it percolate. But I have a video. Anyway, the whole point. Entourage. One of the main characters is this agent, Ari Gold. Right, this super agent. He's has this very over the top personality in it. He is based on a real life person. That person is this guy, Ari Emanuel, who is was an agent. I don't even know what he's doing these days, but very high up the food chain, if you will. And I interpret this video as sort of the generals of the Democratic Party, which he is one, telling their soldiers how things are going to go down. So let's just take a quick look. It's like less than a minute. And let's get some volume on there.
All right, Democrats are jumping out of the window. What are you thinking?
Watch it.
Well, I'm pissed off at the Founding Fathers. They had the start date of 35. They just didn't give us the end date. Everybody died, so they didn't have to give the end date.
So this is the longer version of the video. That is my bad.
Jeffrey, I mean, you're going to know in the next couple, you're going to see polling, you're going to see the...
Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Hold on. We'll do it this way. Where's my little search? Ari Emanuel. It's like 40 seconds long or something. What's that? 5 minutes. This one, it's a little short. Yeah, it'll get us there.
I believe we're in this situation. I cannot believe we're in this situation.
Well, as one of the great disruptors in your career, do we have to sit by and sleepwalk?
It's a legal issue now.
Yeah.
You're not in, I'm going to resign, unless the lawyers tell you something else, and maybe there's some wiggle room. I haven't seen it, and I'm not a lawyer, but we're in fuck city.
Okay, I'm glad we got to that.
There's a bit better part of it, Jesus. I put all these seconds into queuing this up for you guys. Maybe this is it.
I looked at a whole host and thought about a whole host of stuff that's bad.
He's talking about how it's become a legal issue, and that is key.
In what way? Like the delegates at the convention or the campaign finance laws?
But there's like $200 million at least tied up in Joe Biden is number one. And so the only person that money can roll directly into is Kamala Harris.
Because of the ticket name.
Mm-hmm. And he, in this video, it's just a 30-second segment of this 5-minute clip. Go to Twitter, type Ari Emanuel, it'll show up. I'm not going to play a whole 5-minute clip on the show, but basically, in so many words, is saying we were misled by the people that told us Biden was fine. He knew, you know what I mean? But he was misled, and it's now a legal issue. What you've also seen in the news, it's not so easy to just replace them at this point. It's tied into Kamala. It's gonna be Kamala. And then, did you see the leaked video of Trump at the golf course?
Yeah, saying that's gonna be Kamala. Yeah.
Same read from Trump. Who do you think leaked that video, by the way?
Quite frank, I don't know.
I think it was Donald John Trump.
Yeah, probably.
It was a great video, though. But yeah, so Trump is saying the exact same thing that Ari Emanuel was saying in this clip, just in a more fun way. But it's not just black and white. You can't just replace them. Oh, hey, Bateman. So there's and the not black and white. The gray areas are something to the effect of $200 million, and then all the delegates. And that pretty much means Kamala. Mm-hmm. And so what I find interesting, you see there's obviously a very anti-Kamala group of Democrats out there.
Well, I mean, even in a Reuters poll that Ground News published, I mean, she's polling behind 1% to 2% behind Trump.
She is not liked at all.
It's nationwide polling behind.
And then did you see that there was a Project Veritas video a little while back where he had done one of his many stings on somebody that worked at the White House, a gay dude, as they always are, that seemed to fall for those stings, but was saying that the White House is not going to replace Kamala because you can't replace the first female black president.
Yeah, the high priestess of intersectionality.
Yep.
Do you think that's true? Like, if they skipped over Kamala, what do you think would happen with the Democrat voters?
Well, it would make them look really bad optics-wise because part of her entire selling point, or really her only selling point, is that she's the first black African American woman, Indian woman to be vice president. To be vice president.
She's the first underscore woman.
Right.
Yeah, fill in the blank.
Yeah, but if they replace her after hyping her up for so long, then that's going to be like really awkward going in. If they replace her with someone like, say, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom, everyone seems to look at, and I do too, as like the Ron DeSantis of the left.
Right.
It's too early to burn him. He's got a chance in the future. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What about you, Danny? Like, say Kamala gets skipped over and they throw out, let's say Gavin Newsom.
I mean, I don't know that they can just throw out Kamala. Like, it's just, they're going against their entire, like, rule book of intersectionality and identity politics. It's... Mm-hmm.
So just you won't even entertain the thought experiment.
Okay, I mean...
You'll just... No,
I think practically
that's a fair answer.
You'll have Kamala at the top of the ticket and somebody that they think is more likable probably right under her. It's going to be very hard to get rid of her.
Yeah. Another thing to take into account are the donors. Because if Biden is off the ticket, are they going to have to renegotiate their deals? Because, as everyone knows, it's a huge... donors care about political favors, and if all of their money went to this candidate that's not even going to be on the ballot, then are the Dems just going to have to ask them for more money in order to keep those favors? Like, it causes all these sorts of problems.
I heard whispers of a lot of donors were asking for their money back.
I would too, in all honesty. Which
to me is even more evidence that it's going to be Kamala or someone that legally won't require them to give the money back.
Yeah. Now, I am curious, can they run, maybe they pick two entirely different people. They can't use that money for the sole purpose of saying elect candidate X and vice president candidate Y, but can they use that money as an independent expenditure campaign against Donald Trump?
I don't know. It's that Do you know?
No, but it would seem like it's a way around FEC regulations.
I'm sure they're checking every possible scammy loophole there is. Man,
Who's that? Zelensky?
that's disheartening. Yeah, Zelensky, I mean,
He already is the shadow president in a way.
he's the dictator of Ukraine. We'll put him down here for now.
Who was it? Trump calling him the best salesman in the world? Be able to come down to DC every time and leave with billions of dollars.
Who's the, this idiot?
Why is he on the replacement list?
Well, maybe he wouldn't be maybe he'll replace himself.
Yeah.
I had some other semi-serious ones on here that I maybe have exhausted them. There we go. There's also some other people I didn't bother to grab, like our governor, Josh Shapiro.
Yep.
Now, there was a good point made that currently there's an intifada within the Democratic Party, and maybe the last name Shapiro wouldn't perform too well with how, anti-Jewish.
That's interesting. I think you might be right. I also don't, does anybody outside of Pennsylvania know who that guy is? I mean, come on.
Not
no,
really.
but he is. Isn't he the keynote speaker at the DNC this year? Or going to be one of the keynote speakers at the Democratic?
Interesting.
I mean, everybody said he's just climbing the ladder. He didn't finish his term as Attorney General of Pennsylvania before he ran for governor.
He didn't.
No, he just wanted to climb the ladder. So, I mean, come 2028, he might be interested,
Yeah.
but...
He's definitely a dark horse in the coming years. He's building himself up.
Yeah, I was going to say he's being built up. You think he's building himself up?
Yeah.
Almost definitely. He doesn't care about Pennsylvania. He cares about Pennsylvania.
Well, I
Avenue.
mean that more as I'm of the opinion that all these guys are frontmen for some larger organization.
Yeah.
Who does he represent?
What was the Thomas Massey video that came out about AIPAC? Everybody has an AIPAC guy that...
Yeah, something happened not too long after that to Thomas Massey. You guys know what I'm talking about? His wife?
No, what happened to
His wife died.
Congressman Thomas
Yes.
Massey's wife
You didn't
died?
know that?
No, I didn't know that either. That's crazy.
After he calls out AIPAC.
Literally like a week after that. Yeah.
What were the circumstances?
Murder, bro.
a shotgun blast to the back of the head, like rule of suicide.
I don't think they've even released him. Let's find out.
What?
What the
Died
hell?
on Thursday, June 27th.
How am I just hearing about this now?
How did I not know?
I'm
about
amazed
this?
you didn't hear about it.
He's like my favorite congressman.
There is no story of specifically what happened to her, I'm sorry, as far as I know. There literally is no story of what happened. What the? I don't want to rent your stupid Courier Journal. 51.
Interesting.
And he had this tweet.
Pete Booty Juice for Dem candidate.
Where are you reading?
Who was
Oh,
it?
in the
Circle
comments?
Jerk? Yeah, Circle Jerk.
Yeah, man.
That's wild. Sick with what?
Read that shit. Ronto Massey's
Cause of death remains unclear. Calls out AIPAC a week before.
I think that was the cause of death, frankly. I'm not even kidding. She was 51.
Okay.
They were traveling healthy. Everything was good. He has this weirdo tweet. Yeah, that feels very strongly
Well, I mean,
like a visit from our old alphabet buddies. Whoops.
BR549 sounds kind of normy. Said she had cancer, which is highly plausible. We're just being conspiracy theorists, guys. Come on.
Well, that's what we do here. You heard she had cancer. They were high school sweethearts. You see. Oh my God. You know what really happened in Germany.
Uh-oh.
Pictish. Wait, is that true? Josh Shapiro's Ben Shapiro's cousin? That's not true.
I don't think
I
that's
don't
true at
think
all.
so.
No.
No,
Now I gotta look that up.
I really don't think
His
that's true.
Oh, yeah.
I think his cousin played Matilda in the
Wait,
movie
Who's
Matilda.
Josh or
No, Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
Like his cousin.
Oh, there you go.
I am not related to Ben Shapiro. I know somebody who voted for him for Attorney General the first time around because his last name was Shapiro. I'm like, guys, not the same Shapiro.
Ah, you were kidding, you bastard. All right, you got me. You got me. How's our chat rates going? We're pretty heavy on YouTube. There's always something that breaks. It just won't load the logos. So 1 on something and 4 on something. Now 4 on Rumble and 1 on X. Where were we at here?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got Ari Emanuel. Ari Emanuel is not the equivalent of Trump, but he's whatever weird communist power structure they got going on. He's definitely high up in it.
Right.
He's also, you surely know Rahm Emanuel. Holy Christ, how old are you guys? Rahm Emanuel?
Nope.
Nope.
He's Rahm Emanuel's brother, I think. This clown?
Is he Jewish?
Yes, I believe he is.
Well, I mean, dual citizenship with
Rahm
Israel.
Emanuel was Obama's, what was he? He was Obama's something. And also mayor. He's part of this whole Chicago faction.
Okay. So,
Director of Political Affairs, Senior Advisor to the President.
part of just the inner Obama circle.
Yes. Oh, here we go.
And
So
essentially
look at
the
that.
Biden
Relatives. Brother Ari Emanuel. And there's Ari Emanuel. And is Ari Emanuel the one, Kanye West, final tweets? Since we're being conspiratorial. I believe that is Ari Emanuel.
With Elon Musk.
And Kanye's little final dig saying it's all controlled.
I thought Elon just kicked him off because he made fun of his physique.
It was about everyone has a handler. That's what this little not-so-secret message was in reference to. I want to make sure I'm saying the right guy, though.
So what's Ari Emanuel's net worth compared to Elon Musk's net worth?
It's nothing.
Exact. So like.
Yeah, that's Ari Emanuel. Okay, so.
I mean, so the idea that Elon's being controlled by Ari is kind of.
Well, if you want to get truly conspiratorial, Danny. If I were to look up Elon Musk's net worth, I would do it on the internet? So the internet says what his net worth is. Even right off the bat, does that have any meaning of what his actual net worth is?
No, but.
I mean,
it just conventionally.
I'm being a dick to you on purpose. Yeah, no, I know what you're. So on paper and what is publicly presented to us, Elon Musk is this billionaire, and Ari Emanuel is probably a 10 of millions or something like that, Hollywood guy. But to me, I look at it more as who has control, and that's what this Kanye West tweet is all about.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about like the certain ethnic group, or Kanye is like implying, but I do agree that there are certain measures in place keeping like powerful people like.
Yeah, I don't even know if he was saying Kanye was making this a Jewish thing. He's more just saying this billionaire dude is getting power sprayed by the actual guy who controls him.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, do I think Ari Emanuel is the king of the universe? No, but he certainly is assigned in some way as a manager of Elon Musk, who I think of more as an actor.
So what
than as a
connection
billionaire.
does he actually have to Elon Musk besides this photo? Like, do they have other indications?
Oh, like do they have a professional connection?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Ari Emanuel, as far as I know, is like a Hollywood agent. Although that was a while ago. And surely he's risen since then. Let's see what he's doing these days.
So what, he's just a Dem mega donor?
Yeah, for sure. Hold on. Let's see what it has to say. He's an American businessman and the CEO of Endeavor now, an entertainment and media agency. So like an entourage, all the agents. Wow, they own UFC, and so a very wealthy agency.
So I mean, it just boils down to the uniparty.
That's what I'm getting at.
That just runs DC and then
yes,
the
but
country
it's
subsequently.
interesting to me, and I mean you don't have to agree with me. Oh God, I took it down. That most people think of this guy as in a higher bracket in the hierarchy, as Jack would say, than this guy. But this tweet, Kanye West is suggesting that it's the other way around. That's it. That's all that can be derived from this. But it's interesting.
it sort of sounds like what people were thinking Jeffrey Epstein's role was, like meeting a bunch of like rich and powerful people and getting blackmail material on them.
Similar, yeah. So like just because Epstein had less money than Elon Musk, there was a time where he was certainly, at least in certain ways, had way more power.
Yeah.
That kind of thing is all we're getting at.
Yeah, but I definitely agree with the idea that things are so centrally controlled now that you're not allowed to just become powerful out of nowhere. There are going to be checks and balances put on you.
I think the same. Yeah, and I think it's been going on a lot longer than we're led to believe, which is kind of how that. But here you have this guy who's on Twitter, you know, giving the marching orders and telling people how it is. I mean, the whole left is like, someone please explain to us what's going on here. This is the dude they send out. That's interesting. That's worth making a note of. He happens to be brothers with Rahm Emanuel, who happens to have been Obama's right hand, like literally Obama's right hand man. There's rumors that they're gay partners. There's all the Chicago bathhouse stuff, Illinois corruption, but Rahm Emanuel right in there with Obama.
Well,
it could mean nothing. I got brothers.
Well, you do need to highlight. I mean, get on X. I'm pretty sure it was all three of them, Hillary, Bill, and Obama, came out and did say they were backing Biden still for a second term. There wasn't like a official change of narrative on their part yet.
Yeah, Obama released.
And that's still the case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Obama released a post saying, "Hey, we all have bad debate nights. That doesn't mean that doesn't take away from the fact that Trump is pure evil," or something like that.
They all said the same ambiguous thing, but Hillary's the only one that actually said who she was voting for. And like, I quite agree with all of their tweets, except I think the roles are reversed. Trump's the one telling the truth, not them.
Yeah.
So here's from 2 days ago. Obama privately goes shaky after offering. This is honestly my read. I think that the thing I'm imagining myself as this corrupt member of the Democrat Party. Biden gets sent out there. I agree. I think not to have him fail, but under the hope that he could succeed. Else, why do all the crazy rules? So they send him out there. They have their fingers crossed. It's catastrophic. It goes as bad as, the worst possible situation. What do you do immediately before you have a chance to talk to any of your friends or anything? The safe thing to do is say you're staying with Biden. Mm-hmm. Right? Because once you cross that bridge, it's kind of hard to walk it back.
Yeah.
Say Obama is like, wow, Biden's fucking retarded now. We need to replace him. You can't turn that statement around, but you can do the opposite. Hey, he's still our guy. Let's wait a little bit, see what happens. Then if in 3 weeks Biden dies or whatever, or just tries to eat a rock or something retarded, he'll be like, nope, you know what? I did the smart thing and waited a little longer, and now we know he's retarded, so we can replace him. But that's the safe political thing to say. And so it makes sense. Like, I don't think they're such experts. They don't need to talk to each other.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like the pundits are out there. They've turned on Biden. But the pundits aren't the ones that are actually familiar with the political game.
That's what I mean. All the anti-Biden stuff came from the upper echelon people. Like what's the black dude on CNN? Is it
Van Jones?
Van Jones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all those were their genuine reactions, I think. And then probably the next day they got a bunch of emails like, yo, stop fucking saying that shit. What are you doing? What are you doing? But they all have their own motivations, and I think a lot of guys like that really want Kamala. I think there's some genuine infighting going on, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I definitely think that they were definitely planning on sticking with Biden to the very end, because look at how they handled the Dem primaries. Like, they completely skipped it. Like, they left RFK Jr. out to dry and pretty much forced him to run as an independent. Now, he's a Kennedy. Like, that's a big deal considering his history with the party.
I'm laughing because I was doing a stream health check and we're starting to drop frames. Let me just quickly, sorry to interrupt. How is the stream working for you guys on your end? So YouTube, Rumble, X, Pilled, whatever platform you might happen to be watching it on. Just give me a little 5x5 if it's working good for you or any kind of hiccups. And I know it's going to take a little bit for the chat to catch up here, but... Gotta love it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Chris W. Just like how the GOP has internal infighting with different factions, I definitely believe that the DNC has the same sort of infighting. I ultimately think that their goals are the same, though.
Everything is running good. I'll never figure this out, what's going on. It's like every step of the way it's jacked with. But okay, where were we? What were we talking about? We started to talk about booty juice, replacements.
He can't even run like he can't even run transportation. Like I don't see how he can run
the worst
country.
cabinet secretary in like American history.
He also seems very unlikable. So this is what I heard this about Gavin Newsom also, is that the more people listen to Gavin Newsom, the less they're going to like him. Like he's apparently, I've never really watched a whole lot of Gavin Newsom, to tell you the truth.
I only really paid attention to the Ron DeSantis Gavin Newsom debate. That was the only time.
How was that? I didn't watch that.
I mean, the zinger that everybody remembered from that debate was Ron saying, "Oh, by the way, this couple that were elderly and retired were moving to Florida, and they said that they gave some money to my campaign, and they couldn't stand their old state. Oh, by the way, we're Gavin Newsom's in-laws." So, I mean, that was the zinger that really, that I think everybody remembered, was Ron DeSantis being like, "Hey, yo, why are your in-laws moving to Florida under your leadership?"
I've just seen he just apparently comes off as very slimy and lying. And Tucker Carlson not too long ago had something about Gavin Newsom as like one of the few people on the planet that can lie to your face and not feel bad about it at all. Total sociopath.
He is very charismatic. I will give him that, and he is going to be a major threat in the 2028 election as the Dem candidate. But if he runs now, then I feel like he's going to be nerfed quite a bit because of how he's been running California.
Well, he also has some pretty negative, from a political standpoint, personal issues, like banging his former campaign manager's wife. You guys know that one?
No.
Did not know that one.
That he publicly apologized for back and then still won governor or whatever. But yeah, he's worse than Trump as far as that kind of thing goes by quite a bit.
Right.
Provably, admittedly. And so that would all come out when he runs.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, remember that time you cheated on your wife and banged some other dude's wife that was running your campaign?
Yeah. Another thing, another controversy I can think about is how he banned cars except for electric vehicles, and like in California, and that has like gotten a whole lot of people mad at him because the resources it takes to like sustain electric vehicles are very different compared to the average vehicle that uses gas.
I don't know if a lot of these charging stations they have are running off the electrical grid.
The coal power plants? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid. I'm sorry, Danny and Jack's parents who may be watching. Keep them away from me. No, it's just cartoonishly bad. So, okay, let's step out. It's, by the way, 2:45. I just want to totally change subjects here for a second and get your youthful wisdom on this. That kind of shit, right? So we have this, you've lived long enough now, you see this big movement, climate change, the world's ending, let's get electric cars, and then they put in charging stations, and then you come to find out that they're powering those by burning coal. And then you start to, like maybe around your age, I'm trying to look back, you start to get this feeling for it's all fucking bullshit in some way, like maybe all the older people colluded and are feeding you some lie. Mm-hmm. That you're going to be left holding some bag or something like that. I don't know. What does that feel like?
I mean,
honestly.
This might be a very cynical view, but I mean, I think it all just comes down to control. If they're, I mean, when I visited South Africa, there were rolling brownouts across the country.
I've heard that.
And there was a 2-hour time frame where every province, I think is what they have instead of states, every province or region of the country was without power, and you would hear on the radio advertisements for dry ice because they couldn't run their freezers in this time. And what I think it was a combination of neglect and then the government just wanting to have more control over things that just all culminates. And I think the U.S. is just going the way of South Africa in this way that we're just caring about the environment and freaking out about the sun god's gonna burn us all, and like, when in reality, the only way that humanity has thrived is with abundant fossil fuels to keep the AC on in the summer and the heat on in the winter. And hopefully our generation's waking up to that.
Yeah.
How do you feel betrayed in any way?
Oh, most definitely.
You do, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do, and I'm at least 15 years older than you guys, I think.
Yeah.
So
This might be a strong opinion, but climate change to me is one of the most dumbest, redundant political topics you can talk about, because it goes without saying that the climate is changing, but the way the Dems go about it is similar to a way when we talk about like school shootings and stuff. They give a like batshit insane like solution to it that's hardly a solution at all. And when we conservatives reject that batshit insane solution, they say we don't have any solutions at all, and that we just want the problem to keep on continuing. That's not what we're suggesting at all. In the case of climate change, they like it's a form of NIMBYism, and NIMBYism like is usually associated with like housing and stuff like that. But when it comes to climate change related topics, it's removing a lot of fossil fuel industries out of America and giving them to China and like other foreign countries like that. And the problem, like, carbon emissions aren't going away; they're still increase. In fact, they're probably going to increase. But the problem,
I feel like this particular issue pisses you off, Jack.
Yes, it does. So I have a quick story to share with you.
Yeah,
so
share it.
When I was back when I was still a student at Penn State, the president of my own conservative club, we had for Halloween we had a special little display put up, and it's help us ban dihydrogen monoxide. And for those of you unaware of the audience, that's water. So we phrased it in a way that said dihydrogen monoxide contributes to climate change, and we gave like certain factual we gave certain factual
How many people are
statements.
killed by it every year?
Yeah.
And whatnot.
And we had them, like, we asked them to sign a petition, and we got well over 100 signatures.
Of people who are willing to ban water at Penn State.
Oh, look at that. What are the symptoms?
Excessive sweating, urination, and possibly a bloated feeling.
I think Google got in on your joke.
Granted, we had some people get it, like, understand the joke, and we gave them candy as a reward, but that doesn't. Oh man, the sheer amount of people who didn't get it and just like saw climate change, just like, oh yeah, let me just sign this petition, oh, and just went along with it. It's just insane.
I got in a huge fight with a girl on AOL Instant Messenger many years ago because I told her climate change was fucking stupid. I just wanted you guys to know that. Are you even old enough to know what that is?
What?
Hi, Messenger.
AIM?
Yeah, no, I don't.
You don't even know what it is?
Is it like now revamped as a different software or something? Like,
How? Are you guys 14? How old am I?
Jack's
I'm
older than me.
300.
Okay, Jack is like pre-2000 though, so like you guys got that on.
Hey, I was born in 1999. That's hardly.
I wouldn't expect you to have used it, truly, but to never have heard of it?
Was there like a email version?
It was just a messaging app. It was.
Nah, you like lost me. I'm of the era of Snapchat and Instagram, bro.
This is the real appeal of the show, showcasing the generational divide.
Okay, so what did you guys use to like? Did you have cell phones in fucking middle school and shit?
I didn't get my cell phone until like 7th grade.
I didn't get mine in middle school. Yeah.
When you like chatted with your friends after school? How'd it go down? Text messages?
Honestly, we just talked and we just organized play dates. I know that sounds childish, but
No, but like when you got into like high school, middle school, high school, that kind of thing.
then we just use phones.
Like when you're talking directly to your other friend.
Mostly
Text
Snapchat in
messages,
high
yeah.
school.
Oh,
Yeah.
Snapchat. That's right.
Yeah, and there's also Instagram. That's another.
Danny,
Yeah.
what were you sending on Snapchat, buddy?
Nah,
Mm.
nothing.
I'm just kidding. I don't understand Snapchat other than for that.
Other
Other than for sending a picture that you want to get deleted.
Yep.
Why would you use Snapchat?
I mean, you just save everything in the chat as you go. It doesn't have to be deleted.
Oh, I thought it deleted. I thought the whole point. Well, then why not just text it at that point?
Because it's not what everybody uses.
That's
you have
my
to go
whole
with
point.
the psyop. You have to go with the psyop.
I don't
man.
understand this. Is without deleting the pictures, then it's just texting at that point, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, to a point. I mean, now it's mostly just the iMessage app on your iPhone that I use, but
Okay.
But in high school, it was everybody was either using Facebook Messenger, the Instagram
Facebook
DMs,
Messenger,
or
okay.
Snapchat.
Holy shit. Well, anyway, before you were born, honestly, that's actually might be true. Holy shit. I had a battle. I don't remember her name. I just know she sucked and she was liberal. And
She's
she was,
probably still sucking.
yeah, probably. She probably is.
Probably turned into an OnlyFans model. That's
I
what
thought
people
climate
these
change
days.
was stupid back then. Before it just seems impossible. Quickly, Amber Lance, we did the dihydrogen monoxide thing in a lecture at Pitt when I attended. You'd be surprised how many chem majors were upset by it. Yeah,
They
that's a-
realized the grift.
Maybe they shouldn't have been chem majors.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty true too. Even if you don't know chemistry, you can just look at dihydrogen, the word, and be like, oh, okay, so 2
H.
hydrogens,
Yeah.
and monoxide, so 1,
One O.
and then you're like, oh, H2O. I've heard that before somewhere.
Right.
It's really hard to get fooled by, in my opinion. But people are dumb. People are dumb. Patrick Bateman gets it. We're gonna take. Yeah, we're close enough. It's 2:53. We're going to take like a 10-minute break. And then we're going to find something to open up these final 3 Angry Orchards with. And we will be back shortly, right around, well, we'll call it 3:03. And I'm trying to remember which button I got. Oh! Oh, glorious. We will see you in roughly 10 minutes. We'll be right back.
First time.
Holy fucking shit! This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow! This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit! This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow! This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit! This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow! This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit. This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow. This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit. This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow. This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit. This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow. This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest
First time.
Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit. This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow. This fucking timeline is Holy fucking shit. This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow. This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. Holy fucking shit. This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow. This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit. This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow. This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit. This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow. This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit. This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy
We're back. We're coming
First
back.
time.
First time. Oh, it looped. It looped on us. Welcome back, world champions, hard M's, everybody else. Road Dog. 5 new members just like that. Thank you, Road Dog channel member. Welcome. I'm going to just slowly work this music down to 0. Going for 1 more hour today until roughly 4 o'clock Eastern. Welcome back to the Cider House.
John Ward incites erections.
I missed that one. Hold on. Oh, okay. I'm with you. I was teaching you non-smokers this trick earlier. The old non-twist off. You just bust out your lighter. Bang.
Till one of these days the bottom breaks out and then you have lighter fluid all over yourself.
That's even better. You ever drank lighter fluid? No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. But we're back for hour 2. We said, I think I heard you gentlemen saying that you were ready to move on.
We can get some closing statements.
Get a couple closing thoughts on this real quick.
Yeah.
But then we're going to talk about Trump's potential VP.
Yep.
Since you said it, Jack.
Okay. The only candidates really worth considering, in my opinion, are Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom. And in Gavin Newsom's case, along with any other semi-competent candidate, they're not going to risk a run now and have a high likelihood of losing when they could go for a 2028 run. It makes no sense for them to do it now, and I think it's far more likely for Joe to just continue to stay in. And I understand that that's a kind of a weird take, but when you take into account that there's only 2 debates this election cycle.
Yeah, not to jump in, but I don't think that's that weird. I don't think that's a weird take.
All right.
Keep going.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but there's only one more debate after this, so it all depends on how they play it. They could do the old 2020 strategy of keeping him locked in the basement, away from the media, and just hope for the best that everyone forgets about his terrible, disastrous debate performances.
I would say Michelle's another potential option that's legitimate, but
stunning.
This is Michelle Obama, most recent photo I could find.
Because it's just who the media is swarming around. It's not like the Democratic establishment is swarming around her, but the media seems to be mentioning her quite a bit, which, I mean, I still side with Jack on this. I think it's our biggest chance is that it's still going to be Biden and Kamala, or at least Kamala on the ticket.
Keep going. What are you doing? You got to carry the show while I'm editing.
But ultimately,
don't get embarrassed, Dave.
There's a lot of...
She's a strong, independent woman. There's nothing to be scared of.
There's a lot of the media citing...
It's ma'am!
A lot of the media is...
It's ma'am! No, okay, I'm sorry.
The polls where apparently she's the only one that's up on Trump in several polls, but I still think it's highly unlikely. I think it'll still be...
You think that's highly unlikely?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why you're...
Well, to be, if I'm able to give my 2 cents, a lot of these celebrity, candidates, like Oprah, like Bill Gates, Mark Cuban, etc., they have more power, I would say, as private citizens rather than, elected officials.
Yeah, I don't think they're ever intended to be.
It's like your big media personality. Like Charlie Kirk will never probably run for public office himself.
Although, you guys know who Ronald Reagan is, right?
Yep, former actor.
Well, I mean, that's Donald Trump in a nutshell, too.
Yeah.
I mean, media personality gone.
As far as The Apprentice and all, I mean, quite literally an actor in certain cases, yeah. Interesting.
Barack gives Big Mike that hawk Tua.
Oh, is the hawk Tua big with the younger kids?
It's like every other video on your Instagram feed.
She's big with the normie crowd. If you're if you have a fucked up sense of humor, then you're kind of just like whatever.
Jack, that's rich coming from you.
Jack was making hawk Tua jokes you've been getting way more aggressive than that, I guess is what you're saying. You're like 4chan levels now, is what you're getting at.
I won't confirm or deny.
I mean, I kind of laughed when I went back and watched that stupid video. I guess we're talking about this for a second. Sorry. But So you were saying before the break that, or maybe you were saying this outside during the break, actually, but somebody said, damn it, that you guys feel like, and you're outliers in your generation, I think, you care a little more and are more, a little smarter than the average person your age, I would believe. Anyway, point being that you think your generation might be very much willing to be slaves, to have a universal income, to give away their own money, sort of stuff. Am I
to a degree? I
definitely.
think our generation isn't gonna hold true to the longtime saying of people vote their pocketbooks. I have a feeling that our generation has been so indoctrinated in social liberalism that they're going to be willing to sacrifice their personal wealth to somehow feel like they're contributing to a false notion of the greater good of social norms and social values. I don't think that the economy is going to drive my generation's voting desires in the future.
Yeah. I definitely think we've become more collectively lazy, and because of that, we kind of want our opinions to be told to us and told what to believe rather than determining that for ourselves.
Interesting. Do you think that will change? You guys have worked a job before, I would imagine.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people that have that view have not worked a job and ever had to see taxes taken out of their paycheck, things like that.
The unfortunate reality is, though, I have so many coworkers that do have their taxes taken out, and they still believe this agenda that this greater good of social liberalism and equity and inclusion is the highest moral achievement rather than personal refinement.
Who will build the damn roads without government, Danny?
Yeah, interesting. Wow. Kind of a black pill.
Yeah, I guess so.
It might change in the coming years, though, if there's a
Well,
like,
so
big, culture
my
shock.
view on this, looking back, having been 15, 20 years away from that sort of age, in my experience, a lot of people like that, it's a luxury to be able to have that opinion. So people with that opinion, you start to learn by the time you're about 30, are actually wealthy. They're usually children of wealthy people and never really wanted for anything.
Karl Marx.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess Engels. Karl Marx was poor, but his best bud who helped him publish.
Yeah,
everything
well,
was
the
wealthy.
objective fact of the matter is, I don't know if you guys have ever been dirt poor, homeless level type shit. It's not fun, especially if you've experienced something a little bit better, like electricity and air conditioning. It's a big reality check, and then, like my generation, people between 30 and 40, a lot of them, I think, are still, what's the term, needing? Right? Just living off of their parents.
Yeah.
Still well into adulthood. So this will probably take 100 or even 200 years, but that family wealth will trickle away, especially if the mindset is that money's not important. It's pretty easy to give your money away when your parents have had tons of it, but then you're not there with that tons of money for your own kids. They're going to change. They're going to think very differently. I don't know. I think the problem kind of corrects itself. So maybe to me, I kind of read that as your generation. Well, so, okay, I know I'm a little all over the place. People you talk to are your peers, are college students then, I would imagine?
Largely, yeah.
Mostly from the Northeast, like I guess in general at Penn State for the most part. So their parents are probably college educated for the most part.
I mean, I would say we have a pretty diverse range of background at Penn State.
Well, I guess I should have been more. Do you know anybody that is like a first generation college student who comes from a poor as shit family and how they might happen to look at all this?
A lot of immigrant students fit that background, but like I don't know if it's if a lot of like American students fit that bill.
Well, how do the immigrant students look at it?
So, I mean, my two roommates, one's from China and the other's from Uzbekistan. Both of them are first-gen college students. But both of them are nominally conservative as well. But I think John does have a point, largely thinking about it, especially your Connecticut kids that show up to Penn State. Come from these really wealthy Northeast families that are just at Penn State for the party experience and mostly joining a sorority. And then just partying the weekends away. And like you said, essentially daddy's money is what it...
I mean, I would even consider myself and possibly you guys in this category. Now, like, are your parents conservative?
My parents are very conservative.
My mom's conservative. My dad loves Bernie Sanders. Like, he's very
okay.
to the left.
Right on. I had a bit of a wake-up call. My parents are not wealthy, right? I would call them average, probably. But for me, well, I started working at 15, I want to say, because I was made to, which, whatever. Good or bad, not the point. I'm having flashbacks right now. Just give me a second to overcome it. But yeah, first 15-year-old paycheck when that much even back then gets taken out, you're like, what the? I was honestly kind of conservative as a 15-year-old. I think the way that you and I talked, Jack, and I'm not saying not you, Danny, but just because I think I've talked to Jack about it more. But yeah, interested in politics somewhere 7th, 8th grade, Obama, Bush sort of thing. Started climate change. A lot of things seemed ridiculous or whatever. But anyway, point being, parents were, from day one, you're going to college, that sort of thing. I would imagine similar for you guys. No? Yes? No?
Yeah, around high school.
It was probably around...
But like, it was never an option that you would not go to college. Is that correct? Like, was there any serious entertainment of like maybe you'll do something other than going to college?
It was always it's not that my parents pushed the expectation. It was just more like I felt like it was there anyways. Like I was gonna end up going to college.
Yeah, my grandpa, a core part of his identity is going to Penn State.
Okay.
And like we would go to Penn State football games pretty frequently. So me going to I went to junior college before going to Penn State, but it was always in my mind that I would go to Penn State eventually. Like that's pretty much
well, a lot of people do that. So you did like 2 years and then came to main campus.
Not at a Penn State junior it was just like a junior college in Texas because I wanted to see my mom more.
Okay.
Who lives over there.
Okay. But was that the equivalent of like freshman, sophomore year or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I did go to a branch Penn State campus for the sole I would say the large reason I went to a branch campus was to save money because my parents had started saving up and I wanted to be able to go without any college debt. So I did use my parents' money more wisely than just wanting to come party at University Park's main campus.
Sure.
I paid the equivalent of one semester at University Park for 2 years at Penn State Du Bois.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, is that true?
Like I saved way more money at Penn State Du Bois. Yeah.
That's the smart way to do it. I mean, I don't, people that go to State High often go directly to main campus because it's in the same damn town. Yeah. And this, I think, has changed. But Penn State main campus used to take any idiot that went to State High. It was like an unspoken agreement. So you would, if you went to State High and you were retarded, you would get into Penn State, which is actually a pretty good school.
Well, and another thing about, I think, the secondary education system is AP classes in high school are a scam. Okay, just do dual enrollment because you gamble your entire school year away on a test that you could do well on or you could not do well on. Like, you don't know. Whereas at least with with dual enrollment courses.
All right, it's too late for you because you're out of high school, but you did the rookie mistake is you take all your AP tests final semester of senior year after you've been accepted to college. So all that matters is that it's on your application.
Well, even at that doesn't. I wouldn't even. I'd say it's a worse.
So this is what I did. I put all these AP classes on my whatever you call it, and then I just got like ones on the test.
That sounds so cheap, but it sounds believable, like a believable strategy.
You think you're smart. You think you're smart when you get a 5. True intelligence is getting a 1 and having it not matter.
I mean, I got a 2 on the government and politics one, and I'm like.
Final semester of senior year, I had AP Spanish, but also because you need your extracurriculars, right? You got to do the clubs and stuff, right?
Yep.
Students Against Drunk Driving, I did. Befriended our counselor, advisor, staff person, and she signed us out of 25 AP Spanish classes in one semester, which is like damn near all of them. So not only did I get a 1 on that, I don't even know if I went to the AP Spanish test to tell you the truth, but I didn't even go to the class.
I mean, we could opt out of taking the AP test during COVID. And I was like, that was wild. And then you were able to take the AP test at home. It's like, okay, how many kids are just looking through their notes?
Well, it's all, and then, it's a joke. I think colleges have their own problem now. They're real. I think kind of like they expected Biden to be coherent, they expect these test results to be meaningful, and everyone's been cheating on them so long.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Penn State totally. I don't know if they reinstated it, but absolved the SAT score requirement for at least 2 years.
So what do you?
I didn't even have to take the SAT because of the non-requirement for Penn State. Penn State was the only school I was looking at. They got rid of the requirement. I'm like, I'm not spending money on taking the SAT.
Did you just change your name to LaDanny Kunselman?
No, but I did get accepted. I mean, I didn't have to go through the University Park acceptance.
Listen, guys, the point of me bringing this up was just to say that we're all exceedingly wealthy white straight men, okay? And you just don't understand the level of advantages we have.
I'm sorry for my white privilege.
I think, so you've worked, you've paid taxes, you see that shit come out. I mean, I don't even think you need to work. You just need to have the ability to think into the future to know that once I start working, I'm going to be pissed when I see those taxes taken out and then you see all the shit that it goes to. We were saying outside, right around when you hit 30 is when it really all kind of comes together for how fucking stupid it all is. You're almost all the way up. Maybe you're already there. I don't know. But
how did we get here?
Well, I think what I was going to college. Would you tell your kids to go to college? They're 15-year-old Danny Kunselman Jr., Jack Kentner Jr.
I would say it's not worth going to debt over, but they're like, but you don't have to go into debt. I think a lot of kids, 18-year-olds or in that age demographic, make that mistake. They have like this unrealistic idea of money and debt when they could easily go to a junior college like I did and Danny did, or like a branch campus, not pay like these like insane amounts of money over certain degrees that aren't even guaranteed to give them a to put their foot in the door and the careers they want.
What about you, Danny?
My philosophy is I think my kids should be able to do whatever they want in terms of their career. And the only role I will have is you better be the best damn person in that field.
I'm a hitman, Dad, but damn it, I hit people like Michelangelo paints, motherfucker.
I mean,
that bullet was center mass. You could draw a golden spiral around that bullet hole.
But in all seriousness,
I'm with you,
like,
though. Yeah.
If they want to be a plumber, then go and be the best damn plumber in the town. If you want to be a doctor, go and be the best damn heart surgeon in the country. Right. If you want to be a lawyer, go and be the best damn corporate lawyer in the country. And I will back them in doing that. But no, college is not going to be an expectation.
I'm with you. I think, not that either of you asked, you rude sons of bitches, but if someone were to ask me, John, what would you tell your child? This is how media exchanges go, guys. You're supposed to throw the question back. We need to take an improv class together. Me included. I need to take 2. You guys probably just need 1. I would say something very similar to what Danny is saying, which is, well, hey, Dad, should I go to college or, whatever, son, daughter, doesn't matter. I'd say, well, here's my first question. What the fuck do you want to do with your life? Kind of like you're saying. It doesn't matter to me what it is, but some shit, yeah, you probably need to go to college.
Right.
A ton of other shit. Not only do you not need to go to college, but it's probably not the opposite of how you why accrue $50,000 in debt if you want to be a park ranger,
right, or
a scuba diving instructor or something like that. And trust me, I used to value money a lot more. I've come to learn it's so important, maybe to the point of saving your own soul, if you believe in such things, to do something that, not necessarily something that you like, but something that you believe in.
Right.
So there's tons of ways to make tons of money that involve not going to college. Like you could build houses and make way more than you'll make in almost anyone that went to college, things like that. So I don't know. And I think let me throw this one thing out here and then we'll change subjects and maybe go back to the VP. But males especially, male Americans, not even white male Americans, just male Americans. There's the stereotype that dudes like to play with, little Tonka trucks and stuff, growing up, dig in the dirt, get dirty, the old boy stereotype. I think that kind of holds true. as we become adults. There's definitely a gender difference in careers that people choose and things like that. Have we lost something as men by all of us going to college and sitting in classrooms and learning how to use nice handwriting and follow the rule? Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
I mean, I think the overall thing is just like society has become effeminated over time in general. I mean, you see the statistic all the time, and I don't know if it's accurate or not, but you see that the vast majority of men in America are raised by single mothers now. You see that the vast majority of school teachers are women, therefore all boys that are going to public school are being taught by women. It's not a toxic masculinity problem. It's a mass effeminization problem.
Yeah, lack of masculinity.
Yeah.
I think this is precisely what made Fight Club an accidental hit. Have you guys
Yes,
old enough to
yes.
watch?
I was about to say.
Fight Club, the book is about, the author is gay, and the whole thing was about being gay. But because they were trying to make a mainstream-esque hit movie in the late 90s, they didn't want to call any attention to the gayness of it. And so they just removed the gay references, and then you have lines something like from Brad Pitt, Tyler Durden, like, we're a generation of men raised by women. I'm wondering if another woman is really the answer we need. Well, that was supposed to be a gay subtext. But because they tried to ungay it for the mainstream, they accidentally made the point of something that's existed in male culture for thousands of years, which is that whole, like, warrior mentality. Right, which wasn't gay, but like Philadelphia, brotherly love is a whole concept that they've tried to, I think, make us uncomfortable with.
Yeah, Chuck Palahniuk, the author, like I'm familiar with his work. Very good author, by the way.
He is a good author.
Yeah, but I think he was very much intentionally pointing to this, like this feminization of society and lack of like opportunities for traditionally. For men to let out their masculine urges or to just be men. I remember there was this one podcast episode he was just guest on with Joe Rogan, and he pretty much says that was his intention to raise awareness of that. And like you see that a lot with like the narrator, like he's at a rehab group, and it's literally like men becoming feminized, like becoming women. Like there's this one guy who just has tits now, and like they have to resolve their problems through hugging and like not.
You're not talking about Robert Paulson, are you? Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, but
that guy, Robert Paulson,
Yeah.
Bob, has tits.
Yeah, they're all. The solution given to them is to pretty much act like women and not get control over their emotions, not be stoic. And this is a popular misconception. When people say be stoic and have control over your emotions, that doesn't mean don't suppress them or don't acknowledge that they aren't even there. It's acknowledge that they are there, but try to.
Thanks, Danny.
Yeah, try to better. But think before you act, essentially.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a great. So have you read analysis on Fight Club, or did you read Fight Club #1?
Yeah, I read Fight Club.
You did?
Yeah.
And this is your own thoughts on it?
Yeah.
For the most, I mean, I think that's pretty accurate. Here's the distinction, Jack. You have Stoicism, and then you have Epicureanism.
Epicureanism.
I don't know that I'd say I'm an Epicurean, although I did write this book, The Unconscious Pursuit of Epicurean Adoration. Fuck that, don't buy it. Nah, that's all right. If you're a plumber, it's about plumbers. But Stoicism, actually, let me grab that one more time, because it actually has this meme right here in the book.
Yeah.
Let me find it.
Does it reference Marcus Aurelius' Meditations?
Oh, my focus. The Virgin Stoic and the Chad Epicurean. Epicureans are Chad. But the one key difference, which is in that book, or at least in some ways, Epicurus believed in everything in moderation, including moderation. So it was all right to go buck wild and have some hard ciders once in a while, is kind of what he's getting at.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the entire idea of what masculinity is, Jack, has kind of been, it's almost up for debate now. It certainly isn't the men we have in charge. Mm-hmm. But I agree that it's not, putting on a football helmet necessarily and smashing each other in the face either. And feel free to jump in and throw in your own thoughts at any time. To me, there's a lot more to being masculine than just punching things.
Yeah, for me, it's entirely a mindset.
But well, the mindset, like in Fight Club, is punching things. I mean, not physically, but it's like use your mind and just punch shit. Solve problems by punching them.
Yeah, so toxic masculinity, as the left frames it, is pretty bullshit. As it implicitly tries to imply that masculinity itself is a problem, when the problem is rather toxic masculinity, but more so fake masculinity. They don't have any, like, men don't have any higher purpose, so they act out on certain stereotypes or just act emotionally. When real men, are more well in tune with their emotions and know what to fight for. They're fighting for something. When they get angry, it has purpose behind it.
Kind of like Patton's, the true soldier doesn't fight because he hates what's in front of him, but because he loves what's behind him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's a great summarization.
Thanks, man. I said that. I read that myself from another guy, and then I repeated it, and then it made me look smart. So you're welcome. Danny, you look like you have a thought.
No, I just think it boils down to the fact that we're just smothered by. Should be careful how I.
Yeah, I mean, you got your own world you live in.
But we're just smothered by LGBTQ propaganda about expressing your feelings like as they should be. And it's like, no, like, learn to mask when you're angry. Like, you don't want to. Like, how many presidential debates went well for the person that looked like a raging, angry? Like, it's not appealing to the public whenever a man loses control of his emotions. It should just be human nature that masculine men essentially just kind of maintain their composure, know what they're doing in life, have their goals. Like, whenever a woman is looking to settle down, for example, she's not looking for the young guy who's super like volatile, like Jack said, and out there just partying every night. She's looking for a man who has his priorities in order, has a job lined up, that he's going to work on a daily basis, able to provide for her. But society has infantilized us for so long now that you have men that are your age, John, that are out there partying every night, acting like teenagers.
Hey, man.
But, I mean, I just think it's a root societal problem of a lack of a lot of morals in mainstream society. It's more of like we don't have any faith or belief in higher morality. Like, Marcus Aurelius wasn't a Christian by any stretch of the imagination. He was a pagan by all means, but he's still there was a common understanding that there is a greater good in life. And I think that our society at present has lost the idea of the presence of a greater good or striving for a higher morality.
Maybe more, I mean, I might argue that we haven't lost the belief in that there needs to be one. We're no longer in agreement on what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, in 150, during the Five Good Emperors, there was no agreement on what it was. There was the Christians at the time, and there was the Roman pagans at the time, and there was the Stoics at the time, and there was the Neoplatons at the time. And they all agreed, though, that there was a higher striving for just higher morality.
Which is kind of how, when I read documents, including the Declaration of Independence, by the way, happy birthday, Independence. Happy birthday, America, by the way. I think the Founding Fathers were thinking about that sort of thing, Danny. It's like, how do we create that system through all times and all histories and all pasts and all futures? Is there a system that can acknowledge that there's always going to be fundamental differences and disagreements on what people, but is there what are the things we can agree on and codify into law, if you will? And to me, that's sort of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
I would agree.
And the social contract that you sort of implicitly have to agree to upon birth, I think I'm going to lump us into the same age group here roughly. I don't agree to the social contract that currently exists. I was never asked about it. I didn't get any input into it. Everything I see about it is, I'll use the term, fucking retarded. It drives me crazy. I think what partially we're advancing towards through these sorts of discussions is what's the new contract that we need. You're a free agent now, Danny Kunselman. What do you want to see in your contract that would make you sign it?
I mean, the number one priority is the ability to get married, have a family, and mind my own business without the government getting involved in it.
Do you feel like you can't get married right now?
Not that I'm inhibited from getting married. It's more of a like.
And maybe you are. I'm just asking.
No, it's just.
How does what does that feel like in your relatively early 20s?
I mean, fundamentally, it comes down to what we can't afford to do anything. I mean,
Right.
like we can't buy a house and just like. I just think there's some sort of problem with the notion of you get married, but you still have to semi-rely on your parents. Like, I don't think it's feasible to the way that my grandparents got married at 18 and 19 and went out and just bought a house. I don't think that's feasible anymore.
Because the
Just overall mismanagement of our country.
pay rates have not kept up with inflation rates, sort of thing.
That and the fact that, I mean, you have BlackRock buying up every house in the country, turning them into apartment complexes. I mean, the rent everything to survive sort of thing.
What about older people that have built up money over 60, 70 years buying those houses out from under you also in order to rent them right back to you?
Well, I don't know that it's the older Americans that are the problem in that. I mean, we are should be a free market society, not that we are right now. But it's your foreign investment company. I mean, I was just listening to J.D. Vance this morning talking about the fact that one of his constituents is a young realtor, and she's talking about how there's first-time couples that are either pregnant or trying to get pregnant to look for their first family home, and they put in a 2% increase on what the asking price is, but then you have a Chinese company come in and put a 10 or 15% markup offer on the house, and they can't afford to outbid the Chinese investment companies. So I think it's more of a, like, we need to start looking after Americans first.
Some kind of zoning or code that is, this house is only for sale to couples trying to start a family sort of thing?
Or more or less just foreign investment companies can't buy American property.
I don't know that would do it, because I do know a lot of Americans that own a lot of properties.
I mean, that's true. Like, you got Grant Cardone with Cardone Capital that constantly
even in this town, like there's 100 people that live in this town that own 20 properties, 10 properties,
yeah, but
3
this
properties.
is a college town to a degree. I'd say that's different. They're building
True.
apartment complexes for students that are transient residents, not full town. Like back in Punxsutawney, if somebody was doing what they were doing in
Well,
State College,
let me
I'd be
throw
concerned.
a specific scenario at you. So there's a house, right, in State College, Pennsylvania, and it's intended for, families. It has bedrooms, bathrooms, that sort of thing. And young couples are trying to buy it, and they say this house would be worth, $200,000. But as an investment property, because it's near Penn State, somebody that's 60 that has a lot of money could go buy it, pay more than the young couple could afford, and then rent it either right back to that couple or anybody else and make money off of it. You just can't compete with that. And whoever the other buyer is, I put them in the same category as like foreign investment or domestic investment, or just the whole point is somebody is not buying a house to be a home. They're buying it to make money off of people that need a home that can't get one because they've all been bought by fucking people like that.
Exactly. And I think this is where you have a dissonance between your free market beliefs and the idea of state intervention. Like Michael Knowles, if you're familiar with Michael Knowles, always presents a good, I hate to use the word statist, but almost a statist approach to conservatism in some regards. Like the concept of what you were talking about, are zoning laws to protect up and coming families a worthwhile intervention in the free markets. And I don't know that I would support it one way or another, but I do know that largely, and especially reading the comment about the lame bro, grow some balls, money don't raise kids. This is probably a Gen X or boomer that grew up in the 1950s or 60s who could afford to buy a house for $20,000 or $40,000.
There's a good graphic, I don't know if I should have had it ready, but of how, now, I won't even go down that road. It's a whole different topic about inflation and income and changing like that. We had all our prep talks, Danny, about how you don't engage the chat. They're lunatics.
246,000, I think, is the new 80,000 is what the inflation rate is.
I believe it. Fucking hell, yeah, I believe it.
I would like to know who in the chat actually makes $246,000 a year.
Yeah, well, it's so we're being outcompeted, but I'm with you. I think more government is a bad thing. More rules are a bad thing. Here's what kind of happens: these speculative home buyers. What should happen is the market should blow up and they should lose all their money, but they get bailed out.
Which isn't truly free market. I mean,
right, so it's even more rigged. It's not only do they have a shit ton more money than you to buy all of this property, but now they're going to buy up all the property and the values are going to crash because no normal people can afford them. The little bubble will burst, and they're going to take all the taxes from the people that couldn't fucking afford to buy a house and give it to the speculators that lost all their money. And that's already happened. That's Occupy Wall Street, all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's about as rigged as I've ever seen it in roughly 40 years, let's say. And if you're sitting there thinking it feels like a bunch of bullshit, that's because it is. That's because it is. And we can bitch about it all we want. The people owning the houses are not going to be like, oh, you know what, guys? You've broken through to me. My black heart, my ice cold heart has been thawed. Let me help you out. That's not going to happen. So I don't have an answer for you. It's all fucked. You're right. We should burn it all down, I think, is what we've derived from this particular point in the conversation. What do you think? Fight Club?
Perform the game stock drop on all stocks for
I
all.
want you to hit me as hard as you can. I'm with you. So, like, I don't know. So, college is way overpriced, too.
That was another interesting thing that I thought J.D. Vance was bringing up on the podcast I was listening to this morning, was about the fact about taxing the endowments that universities have and making them foot the bill for the student loan
Oh, they have a cartoonish level of money, yeah. It's a joke.
Instead of making the plumber or the electrician that never needed to go to college in the first place pay the bill, make the university that's charging the ridiculous rates foot
right,
the
again,
bill.
they're giving you this, or whoever gave that kid the loan. Right,
Well,
you
and
took
that-
a
I'm-
risk. The kid,
Yeah.
you're that shit out of luck, man.
Elon highlights a lot of that too. With a kid can walk into the bank and get a $100,000 student loan, but can't get a $10,000 business loan.
Right, or a down payment for a house.
Yeah.
That is all on purpose. You are seeing with clear eyes, I think. It's the best I have for you. Sorry, man. Sorry, man. It's all true. It's all true. It really is that way. I don't know what to say. How did this happen? I don't know. World War II? Who won World War II as far as you're concerned?
Jack can answer this one first.
I already know that. Let's talk about something else. By the way, it is 3:40, I want to say. Is that so?
Yeah, that's about right.
So if we're at a natural stopping point, this was a bit of an experiment here with the Cider House. I was hoping one of you guys would take over.
Well, one of the original topics for the show was talking about Trump's potential VP.
Oh, replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got time. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Who do you think, Jack?
Let's see. The main names going around are Doug Burgum, J.D. Vance, and Marco Rubio. I think Doug Burgum is too normie.
Just those three.
Well, that's what
Or you
want
to start with those three?
I want to start with those
Okay,
three.
go ahead. Sorry, I'll shut my mouth.
Because I've seen articles focusing on them. Doug Burgum is said to be too normie, but that's not necessarily a disqualifying factor, because Trump is shown to be Trump already has a bombastic personality nailed down, obviously, and he needs someone to balance him out. And I think Doug Burgum fits that bill, but I can also see him serving his cabinet and to a significant degree. As Secretary of Energy, I've seen.
What's going on here, Jack? That's Bill Gates. This
Gates.
is a guy I don't like in a photograph with the guy you're talking about. What does that mean?
Well, hey, maybe
Tell me what to think about this.
Maybe Bill Gates will have a realignment with him being in there.
No.
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about Burgum, but I like the way that he vaguely looks like George Washington without glasses on.
Yeah, I've heard that. He has the face of a president, just not from this century. Yeah, but I don't know.
It's a little
I
Washingtonian.
think more Andrew Jackson vibes.
Yeah.
I've heard that too.
When you're successful, like you're going to brush shoulders with a lot of successful people. Like Vivek Ramaswamy, that's a big criticism of him. Like he was given a scholarship by a George Soros scholarship or something. But there are factors to it. Like that doesn't mean that he aligns with him on all of the issues. Like there's certain context you have to keep in mind. And with JD Vance, like he used to be like a never Trump, like a vocal never Trump guy, but then he had like I want to say a religious reawakening, and he kind of just saw like a lot of the plights that a lot of working class people in America were facing. So
you like JD Vance?
I like JD Vance. I think he's a good senator, but again, I think him being a bombastic personality like puts him at odds with Trump, and
Okay.
I think he would be a good VP, but I don't think Trump would want someone like that.
Who was the third one you said?
Oh, Marco Rubio.
You like Rubio?
Get him out of here.
No. Like
Or you're just saying chicks?
these are like the three I've heard.
Gotcha.
Marco Rubio, he's been pretty establishment for most of his history, but he's gone along with the cultural norm for a lot of his career, and he seems to be like realigning with MAGA a lot more. Mm-hmm. So I can see Trump picking him because he's also popular with women. He's also popular with the Hispanic.
Women like
demographic.
Rubio? Is that true?
Yeah, I've seen polls like saying that, and he's also Hispanic, so he's more likely to like win over that demographic.
Right there, right at the top. Jack was on the nose.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
Well, those are the three you just listed. But I mean,
It's just because Google's listening
Okay.
to us.
Well, how about we go over the options we don't want to see? Or
Yeah, I was gonna try
I
to grab
don't
a.
want to see Doug Burgum, and I don't want to see Marco Rubio.
You like JD Vance?
I would prefer JD Vance, specifically
Yeah.
because he's from the Blue Wall. I mean, while he's from Ohio, and Ohio's a safe red state, he has an appeal to Western Pennsylvania, Eastern Michigan, and Wisconsin because he's from one of the Rust Belt industrialized states that lost manufacturing in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. Personally, I would have liked to see Tulsi Gabbard because she's kind of a wild card, and she could win over some of the more RFK Jr. independents because he is going to be a factor in this election.
What about Tim Scott?
Tim
No,
Scott,
he's too squish.
I would say Ben Carson is a better option.
Neither to a degree. I think Ben Carson would make an excellent cabinet position. But Tim Scott, if you're going to pick let's be real here. If we're picking Ben Carson or Tim Scott, what's the reason we're picking them for?
Well, Tim Scott,
No. Answer the question. What is the reason we're picking them for?
because they're black.
Then why don't we just go with Byron Donalds from Florida and have somebody who can just get the job
Because he has
done?
a more forceful personality than both
That's
of them.
what we need. We don't need little pansy mansies just trying to go in and tell the FBI. No,
Well,
you need
there's also-
somebody who's going to step up and actually take it
Well,
back
there's
to the
also taking into
establishment.
account that he's from Florida, and Florida is not really in contention. Like Trump is obviously going to win Florida, but Tim Scott, on the other hand, he can win over a contested state. So there's keeping that in mind, and I understand that having a certain VP doesn't necessarily guarantee a state in your favor, but it is something to keep in mind.
I still think we should just go with somebody who can get the job done, not just a little squish Republican who's failed us. He votes conservatively 95% of the time in the Senate, but on the 5% of the times that the votes have mattered, he does what the uniparty tells him to do, and he gets on his knees for Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Go out. Don't stop on my account. Start punching each other.
Yeah. Well, how about we cover
this. I've heard this name more and more lately.
I like Vivek Ramaswamy
I do
a
too.
lot.
I see
do
the
too.
angle more than I used to. I see the benefit. This dude's
Yeah.
38. He's my age, essentially.
But Trump does not like him for whatever reason. or
Well,
at
I
least
wouldn't
not
like
as
me if I
much.
was Trump either. I mean, fucking 38 years old.
At least not as much to have him as his VP because he doesn't want him taking attention away from him. That's the thing.
I don't really like. I can't.
Vivek was the only one loyal to Trump in the primary debates.
Yeah. And it's kind of shitty how.
Yeah,
they
but
portray
anybody
that.
with a brain would have been loyal to Trump in the primary.
Well,
That's just
then
more like he's the only.
more
Well, I
point-
guess that's yeah.
More point to not put Doug Burgum or Tim Scott in that position.
Yes, I saw your point as I was
Yeah.
saying it. Fair enough.
Yeah, and it's not that I want Doug Burgum or Marco Rubio to be picked. It's just that these are the likely options he's going to go with, knowing Trump.
Yeah, thank you, Dutch Voo Milk.
By the way, I think our stream might be kind of officially dead on YouTube. I told you, I ran a 2-hour test stream before. This was no joke. Before we started today, God, I can't help with hitting that wrong button today. And had zero, not one single frame dropped, and now we're at 61,225, and it's hitting 17%. Almost 1 in 5 frames is dropping. Our audio should be good, and a lot of people just listen. But just to sort of acknowledge anybody that might be, people have been trickling away, and I think it's because of that. But not to cut it off there, but because we're pretty much at 4 anyway, if we account for the break, I am about there unless there's any last-minute things we desperately want to talk about, which I'm assuming probably not. This was a good experiment, though.
Yep, I really enjoyed the concept, and I hope to do more.
Are you guys going to be around the remainder of the summer?
Oh,
Yes.
Should we try to do this like on Fridays? Or we'll talk more.
We can do. I could do it next week if you want.
We'll find a time that
We've
we're all
got
available.
elections to win around here, so we're going to be around.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's helpful for me to talk about this stuff with other people. There's only so much time you have to look at shit and look at all the stuff that, like, I happen to read, you didn't, and vice versa. So it's great to get together, like, once a week and combine that knowledge, if you will. But, sorry, Danny. This one. Jack Kentner, at Jack_Kentner on X. That's correct, right?
Yes.
And at Danny Kunselman, Danny_Kunselman. Is that correct?
Yep.
Do you guys tweet a whole lot, or
Not particularly.
I tweet.
you guys just Snapchat?
No, I just
fucking
I get my
weirdos.
news from X.
Do you guys tell? I hope you guys don't just have each other on Snapchat, because then we're gonna have to have a whole
I
different
don't
conversation.
use Snapchat anymore.
I don't
I'm
think
just gonna
Jack
be
has.
honest.
I'm just giving you a hard time. But congratulations, Danny, Vice Chairman, Jefferson County GOP. Are you going to stick with politics, do you think? Or are we going to see you Governor Danny Kunselman someday?
We'll see what happens, but I mean,
You going to
my
make me
primary
come delete all
goal-
these videos of you getting hammered on cider? No, I'm kidding.
My preference of what to get done in Jefferson County is we just bought a bunch of data on unregistered voters, about 13,271 people that were 50% or more likely, according to 1,500 different variables, to vote Republican.
Nice.
And we only have 26,000 registered voters in the county. So literally a 50% increase if we register all of them. I mean, I want to do the same exact thing here in Center County to tip the scales because Center needs it more. But I mean, if every rural county in Pennsylvania registers 50% more of their registered voters,
Yeah, the people are there.
we just got to mobilize them. I mean, we have, what is it? There's 700,000 hunters in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And like 100,000 or 70,000.
Well, you go win that battle for us, my friend, and I'll support. I will make all the live streams you want while I drink alcohol with Jack, and we'll just be like, that Danny guy, he just really needs to work a little harder.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Why is everything so wrong with the world as we just chug a beer? Oh, us. Okay, that's the problem. But I got an official stream warning from YouTube that it's got bad stream health. That pretty much means we're done at that point. We hit it, though, 4 o'clock. If you're still out there listening or on a different platform, which as far as I can tell are all working fine, Rumble, Pilled, and X, formerly Twitter. Thank you. There we go. Jack Kentner for joining us. Cheers. Thank you, Danny Kunselman. We are going to get behind the wheels of motor vehicles and drive them on...
Mr. BRA 549 is
Union
in Union County, right next door.
All right. You're going to get hunted down by BR's AR. ARBR. Come on, that was a great joke. All right. That is it for today. I am John Ward, allegedly. We're not going to be back. I am John Ward, and until next time, remember, you are a world champion.
First time.
Don't let your memes be dreams.